Now for third, I'm going to use number 3, Jocker Justice. This is another one taking a class drop. Last start up at Indiana on the turf for a $10,000 level, just missed, was third, fighting on gamely throughout the stretch. Blue Mesa, the winner of that race, came back and since won in the subsequent start. This one has yet to race on the synthetic, but does show an affinity for the turf, and a lot of times that does transition very well over to the poly track, where the horses went from 7 starts, 4 for 7 on the board, and the turf. Now, prior to that, the horse raced at Belterra, and the horse will sit close to the pace. I think this horse's best running style is if Azale can get the horse to just take back and relax a little bit and come running, but has drawn towards the inside, has some speed, probably will need to use it. I don't think it'll be in the front. I think the horses to the far outside will cross and clear. I'm going to use Jocker Justice for third, 12, 8, and 3 for me. And the pick 4 I spoke of, we'll have that ticket for you later. I'm going to spread out. I think the first couple of races in this sequence, well, especially the second race, is one you'll need to use the most horses if your budget allows it. I'm going 5 deep in that pick 4. Third race from Turfway Park is a filly and mare, 2 since-to-date claimer. In fact, horses who have not won 2 races in the last calendar year, and they'll race a mile, race number 3. It does start that single 6, 20-cent single 6 jackpot, and the carryover in that single 6 is nearly $6,400, $6,391 in free money going in. You'll want to get involved. You can do it for a minimal budget, just a 20-cent base wager in the single 6. Now, starting in race 3, I'm going to use number 10 on top. That's Magic Feet, 1 of 2. Kelly Ackerman has entered in this race, and I think this is the better of the 2. Should get a good stalking position with Rodney Prescott. Magic Feet is drawn to the outside going the mile distance, does have a win over the track. I think there's enough speed in this race to set up for this horse's late running style. Hope Prospect is going to go. Miss Venezuela, I think, is one that will flash speed as well towards the inside. I think Sporting maybe even will have some early lick. And even this one's entry mate, Miss Vicky, who I'll use in my second spot, has some speed. So I think everything as it goes as planned at the break. I think Magic Feet should get an ideal pace scenario to set up her late running style for Kelly Ackerman. Now for second, I'm going to use her stablemate, the other Ackerman charge, Miss Vicky, to the far outside. Kelly's a very good claimant trainer. This one is one that's taken a drop in class, has yet to race here on the synthetic, but has raced in all weather once and was second in that performance. She is 6-1 on the morning line and my second choice. For third, I'm going to go all the way down to the inside with number 1, Sperling. This one's 5-1 with Johnny McKee, still looking for his first victory at the meet. This horse is one that hasn't raced at Turfway, but loves the synthetic. Check out on the form there. You'll see this one has raced 12 times, 10 for 12 in the money on the synthetic, 4 wins, 5 seconds, and 1/3. Now this one has the rail. I think we'll be able to save some ground and stalk the leaders. Shouldn't be too far off the pace, though, maybe a couple of lengths at worst. But I think Sperling could add some value into this single 6, into the pick 4s, if you will, and also a good price on the morning line, 5-1. It is my third choice, 10, 12, and 1. That's race number 3 from Turfway. Now the fourth race, it starts another rolling pick 3. We have those rolling doubles and pick 3s spread throughout the card, and another one starts here in race 4. This is a race that they scratched a horse I liked a lot, number 1, Amani's Kitten. That horse has been withdrawn. So looking at this race, I had to reanalyze it a little bit. I end up going for number 4, Poppy Joe Rocks, as my top pick. Now, this race is very wide open. This one is a class dropper. It was third last start at the $10,000 level at Churchill. Drops in for the 75, and is another one I think will sit off the pace. The trainer here, Steve Sandy, is a 28% trainer when taking horses from the dirt to the all-weather. He does very well here. Had a stake winner here last meeting. And that horse is back in the entry box today for next week. So Steve Sandy always does well here since Poppy Joe Rocks out. 8-1 top pick in the 4th. I think this is a race, if your budget allows you, you might want to use a couple of horses. I also like number 12, Statesboro, to the outside. Ron Brown first off the claim. Ron Brown already with a winner at the meet. He took the last race on Saturday, I believe with eyes on in the very last race out of the 1 hole. But this is another one that will show some speed. First off the claim was claimed last start up in Indiana for $5,000 from the Amos barn. Now goes to Ron Brown, and this one is my second choice, Statesboro, in race 4. Now for third, I went for number 2, Native Flora. Complete guess for me. This horse has never raced in all weather and comes into the barn. Michelle Bradford But Michelle she's a very good trainer. She trains right here at Turfway. This horse doesn't appear to have been here very long. Its most recent work was November 30th up at Pimlico. But this horse will show speed. Drawn to the inside. Rogelio Miranda had a very big win last week with a $36, $37 horse. And riding very well right now. When Michelle drops horses in class, she hits at about 33%. She doesn't run a lot of horses, but when she does, they're very well met. Native Flora, 6-1, first start on the synthetic in race 4 is my third choice. Race 4, 4, 12, and 2. Now the fifth race from Turfway Park is a filly and mare maiden special weight purse, $46,000. They'll go 6.5 furlongs. We did have a key scratch in the fifth race. Number 11, My Sweet Babu, has been withdrawn. Again, number 11, My Sweet Babu's out. A couple of other changes in there. I'll get those to you here after the break. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a pause for the cause, and we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Good evening once again, race fans. Welcome into Turfway Park. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you'll take out your programs, I'll give you tonight's late program changes. 8 races on the card here on this Wednesday evening program from Florence, Kentucky. First post is in 29 minutes. Of course, the poly track is fast. First race starts the pick 5 in race number 1. Scratch part of the entry, 1A Teton Tie. Number 1A Teton Tie is out. Scratch number 3, Flip Berdini. Number 3, Flip Berdini has been scratched. Also, scratch the 12, Alexa G. Number 12, Alexa G, out of the first. So first race, scratch 1A, 3, and 12. Race number 2 starts at early pick 4. Scratch number 7, Shut the Box. Race 2, scratch 7, Shut the Box. Third race starts the single 6. Carry over in the single 6. $6,391. That's a 20-cent single 6 jackpot wager. Starting in race 3. A couple of changes. Please note number 2, Jewel Lisa, the rider 2 pounds over. Scratch number 4, Rose to Glory. Scratch number 5, Miss Venezuela. Scratch 13, Southern Ruffles. Third race, scratch 4, 5, 13. Fourth race, scratch the 1, Amani's Kitten. Number 1, Amani's Kitten, scratch from race 4. In the fifth race, jockey change on number 4, Quality to Spare. Make the rider Rogelio Miranda. Rogelio Miranda on number 4, Quality to Spare in race 5. Please be aware, number 8, Frills, has not been treated with Lasix. Number 8, Frills, will not race on Lasix. Scratch the 11, My Sweet Babu. Scratch 13, It's Vengeance. And 14 Million Tails. So fifth race, take out numbers 11, 13, 14. That starts the late pick 4. Race 6 is clear, no changes in the 6th race. Race number 7, start of the late double. Scratch number 1, Tip at Tappet. 7th race, scratch 1, Tip at Tappet. Jockey change on the 7, early time. Make the rider Corey Orm. Corey Orm on the 7, early time in race 7. And then scratch all the also eligibles. Scratch 13, Kimberly Dream, and scratch number 14, So Charming. 8th and final race from Turfway Park features the high five carryover of $2,532. That's in race number 8. Couple of changes. Please note that number 4, Old Fort, is now a gelding. Number 4, Old Fort, has underwent the utmost equipment change and has been gelded. Scratch number 10, A Fleet in Front. Scratch the 11, Southern Humor. Please be aware the 13 Pioneer Dancer draws in off the also does race. However, the 14 on the also Popcorn Freddy has been scratched. 8th race, scratch 10, 11, 14, 13 runs. Ladies and gentlemen, those are changes at this time. Any changes coming in throughout the balance of the program, I'll get those to you as they do so. First post in 24 minutes. Welcome back to the studio, race fans up on the 3rd floor. We left off at the 5th race prior to the anthem. We got through the first 4. We'll take on the second half of the card. And race number 4 starts at late pick 4. 50-cent pick 4, just 14% takeout. I did tell you we did have a key scratch of the 11 in there. That makes number 9 almost a single for me. I hate to single maidens, especially horses doing something for the first time, as this one has never even raced on the Poly. But Amira B, I think she stands out in here. She's a sophomore, daughter by Street Boss, racing for the Hall of Famer Steve Asmussen, and Albin Jimenez has the call. Now this one was second at Kentucky Downs against a very, very solid field, and she fought on. She closed in and was hooked throughout the lane and kept fighting and was second, just beaten about a length and 3/4. Prior to that, that was her first race since coming in from Southern California, where she was beat 5 lengths at Del Mar. The race before that, she was second, beaten ahead. So she's been 3 seconds out of 4 starts. I think she lands in a very good spot tonight to get her maiden broken. She is my top pick. Now for second Freels, this horse is 12-1. Please note this horse has not been treated on Lasix this evening, but this is another one I think has been facing a lot tougher than in this field today. And Ben Colebrook and Declan Cannon I spoke of earlier, they always seem to do very well here at the track. This one's owned by the Hinkle Farms. 12-1 price for me in the second spot. Now for third, Kiss More, 8-1 for Pollard and Vance. And Mr. Vance does very, very well. This one, it will be on or near the lead. Showed speed last start at Churchill. Going the mile and 16th, was fourth beating 6 lengths. The horse is turning back. There's a speed a little bit to the inside. But I think with that post position, I think John will use it to his advantage. And at number 7, a Kiss More is my third choice here in the 5th. That does start the late pick 4. Now the 6th race is a good quality filly and mare allowance race. It's a 3 other than, going for a purse of $52,000. They'll go 6.5 furlongs. I think it comes down to 3 horses in here, maybe even 2 in race number 6. And Moonlight Romance is one that is exiting a graded, or excuse me, not a graded stake, but a stake event at Belmont, $150,000 stake. Was up and after the lead and kind of faded, was 4th and was last, but was only beaten 10 lengths. Prior to that, the allowance win at Keeneland made all the pace to hang on with Johnny V that day. That was coming out of the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint there. Making the first start at Keeneland of the year. This one has been idle since then, but has been working lights out. Gangbusters in the morning. Check out the Work Tab 2 bullet workouts. Most recently, first of 9 time before November 22nd, 5/8, 101 flat. That was the best of 24 that day. Shows at least 5 works here at Turfway. 3 of those bullets, she'll be ready to roll. Martine Garcia with a couple of wins last week has the call for Ken and Sarah Ramsey. Now for second, number 7, Her main opposition right to her inside is another 3-year-old Peruvian Appeal, coming from the barn of Brad Cox Stable. Dela Cruz looking for his first win of the meeting. Now this one, should a pace scenario happen up top, which it could, I think Peruvian Angel is the one that will benefit from it. She's going to be off the pace and will close. Last start she closed from 6, was second, beating a couple of links that day. Time before at Keeneland, and sat off the pace a couple of lengths and did fight on, but I like her win at 3 starts back at Churchill, where she was 5th and closed in to win with Florent Giroux that day. Dela Cruz up today 4-1. Other than those two, I think maybe number 5 still there, could be on the ticket. This one was very well met and highly touted the first couple of outings. You'll look back on the form, broke maiden on debut at Keeneland, came back and won a first level allowance race in New York, and then even took on a stake action in her 4th start at Laurel, where she was a stakes winner. Then she run in a grade 1, was second, beating 3 lengths to Marley's Freedom, so has been keeping good company. Doing a dismal performance last start at Churchill. I'm just going to draw a line through that one. I think she's better than that. That was coming off the layoff, first start off the layoff. Could have had an excuse, maybe could have needed the race, but second off the race in Tightener, she's well met. I know Dane Kabisky likes this filly a whole lot, and she's racing for his longtime owner, PTK. 8, 7, and 5, those are the 3. I don't think you need to go any further if you're playing exotic multi-race wagers such as the pick 3, pick 4 doubles. That is in race number 6. Now the 7th race, another allowance event, $48,000. This is an A other than optional $25,000 claimant event. The one has been scratched. I'm going to go to number 11, Enchanting Kitten from the Maker Barn. This one gets Martin Garcia, was second against first level allowance races at horses at Keeneland. Had a winner on the turf, has yet to race on the poly, but this horse is another one training very well. I think the horses training over the track here have a slight edge here over ones that are shipping in. Now for second, number 9, Straight Out of Popcorn. This is one that loves Turfway Park. 3 starts, 2 wins, 1 second. Johnny McKee up for Stephen Lister. This one has been facing some serious company the last 3 or 4 starts. Has raced in stake action, a graded stake in fact, and was second in a allowance race at Presque Isle. But last start, coming off the layoff, showed a little speed and fade, but with the race under the belt in this field, I think this horse has a big shot at 7-2. She is my second choice. For third, I'm going to go with number 6, right to the inside there, Frozen Hannah. Sippy Contreras, who always holds a hot hand, does very, very well. He, in fact, had a couple of winners today, I think, up at Mahoning. So he's looking to continue his streak. This is one that was claimed last start. He claimed this one from Ian Wilkes for the $25,000 level at Indiana. Well, the horse was third to a pretty good field. Haynesfest, She Might Tell, came back and won in her next start. Just missed the time before to Love on Tides. That was also to Indiana. And was running good up at Saratoga. $25,000 level, was second, just beaten that day. I think this horse looks to move forward. Frozen Hannah, she's going to be a big price. She's 10-1 on the morning line. 11.96. That's race number 7. Now race 8 does have that high 5 wager I spoke of earlier. There is a carryover in the high 5 here of $2,532. In race number 8, I'm going to go to the outside. I think this is probably my most logical winner of the day. Now it's hard to single, but I'm going to single this horse in a couple of wagers. Number 12, Wallet, 8-5 on the morning line. Now this one, it did kind of race a little bit greenly last start, was drifting all over the place at Keeneland, but the time before, in fact, even the horse was drifted that day as well and drifted out, bothered a foe, and got DQ'd second place third. But the horse is taking a drop in class. Dane Kabisky, PTK, Declan Cannon. I think this is one you'll have to use. Dane hits at a big number always, but almost 30%, I believe, coming third off the layoff. The horse is on the turn back, and I think is eligible to definitely improve and get that maiden break today here at 8-5 on the class drop. For second, number 4, Old Fort. This is one will be rolling late. The apprentice who rode this one had a win earlier on in the meeting, came up the fence. Old Fort probably will look to do the same. I prefer if he would sit and go around on this 3-year-old though. Mr. Sydney, $7,500 level today, dropping in class now. Is a 9-time maiden, has 1/3, but I think the race should set up for him if the 12 should fail. There will be a little bit of speed in the race, so I think Old Fort could stalk and make a deep closing move down the stretch. Now, number 7, Dry Lake, 5-1 on the morning line. Alban Jimenez for Ian Wilkes. This one is making this second start off the layoff. I know a lot of handicappers love Ian Wilkes' second start, either a second-time starter or second-time off the layoff. I like the trainer anytime. I even bet on some of his first-time starters, but this one, This one is exiting a dismal performance at Churchill, and Ian drops his horse in class. He was 11th, beat 16th last start, but I think he's better than that. If you go back to the Tampa races, 6th, beating 5 lengths, 7 lengths, and those are some solid races at Tampa. I know they don't give away a lot of money in the winter, but for the money they give away, those maiden special weight races are very, very tough. Gets all the shippers from Miami, and those races are generally loaded with some top players in the game from South Florida. And I think Dry Lake is in a pretty decent spot that he potentially could get his maiden broken. And I think he's definitely one that will be on the ticket you don't want to leave off at 5-1 for the Witham Thoroughbreds. 12-4-7, race 8 for me. Don't forget that does. Race 8 has that high 5, big carryover there. Carryover in the single 6. Pick 5 starts in race 1, 15 minutes to post. Good luck.